Jeffrey doesn't have to be a skinny, wimpy looking kind of guy. He could actually be pretty big. And in fact, you probably know some Jeffreys who kind of look like Chads. Inner Jeffrey, outer Chad. That's when the guy looks pretty strong and masculine and attractive. But inside, he's a fucking coward. He has no values, no integrity, no responsibility, no discipline. Adonnis. Adonnis is strong, inside and out. He understands that it's the strength inside of him that results in the growth in the external world. Of course, Adonnis started out just like the rest of us. He went to the gym and he focused on his outward appearance. But it was his character development that changed it all for him. That's why we look up to Adonnis. Jeffrey's horny. He's so horny. And he's frustrated. He isn't getting any attraction from women. He's so used to this life that he's went deep into the depths of the internet, into these subcultures talking about women and how they only like Chads. He's tried online dating, but he doesn't really get many matches. And the matches he does get are either bots or unattractive women. The reason why we don't like Jeffrey is because he takes no responsibility. He complains and he hates on women. He complains about the societal dating standards. And yet he does nothing to improve himself to become more attractive. Jeffrey wouldn't date himself, and yet he expects women to be interested in him. Adonnis. Adonnis is a confident man, and he knows that there's one major thing that he can do throughout his day that makes women attracted to him: holding eye contact. It's so simple, it's fundamental, but of course Adonnis doesn't overlook the fundamentals. He has the humility to know that they are what's crucial, and so he keeps it in mind. Hold good, strong eye contact. Imagine Adonnis walking down the street. A girl sees him in the distance, and she notices that he's looking right at her. Not like a creep, not full of lust, but of interest. She can't help but be attracted and impressed by him. She's used to all these boys looking away from her, and here in front of her is a man. Jeffrey's the average guy. He's overweight, lazy, and undisciplined. He got average grades in school. He works an average job that he doesn't like. He doesn't attract the kind of women that he wants. He lives a mediocre life. Jeffrey hears about self-improvement, about exercising and building a body that he could be proud of. He hears about meditation, gratitude journaling, reading, and learning. And Jeffrey refuses to do any of it. He spends his days playing video games, jacking off to messed up porn, and eating junk food. What a disgrace. Adonnis. Adonis is the man that we aspire to be. The best man, the ultimate man. He lives the life that cultivates his masculinity and makes him feel so fulfilled. Whilst other men spend their days indoors, hyper-stimulating themselves, Adonis goes out into nature. He hunts, he feasts, he leads his tribe to success. Everyone looks up to him. Here is a man, the man, who is showing us our potential. The question is, are you going to reach it? Jeffrey is a coper. He clicks on self-improvement video after self-improvement video. He scrolls down to the comments and lies about the progress that he's made. That better not be you, bitch. He watches the video and he's so hyped, and then he clicks on another video, and another, and another, and another. He never takes action, he never improves himself. He's completely defying the purpose of self-improvement. Adonnis. Adonis understands what it takes to improve himself. There's a simple process. Step 1, learn. Learn about the topic that you're interested in. Get some insight and some ideas. Step number 2, practice. Go out there, especially when you don't feel like it, and try and implement one of the ideas that you just had. Step 3, training. Now it's time to get consistent in that practice. Do it every day if you can. Adonis is not the kind of man who would overindulge. He has a fantastic balance. He learns and then he implements. Because of that, Adonis sees fantastic progress in his self-improvements. You just have to copy his 3 steps. Jeffrey hates women, and he even hates men. He hates everyone. And you know what? Everyone hates Jeffrey too. Jeffrey has this weird, autistic, underground, controversial belief that is known as the black pill. That means that Jeffrey thinks that women only look at one attribute in men: physical attractiveness. He is so sure that if you don't have the right eyelid shape, that she won't be into you. That if you're not 6'3", she won't be into you. Jeffrey doesn't realize that he stinks. Like, literally, he stinks. He thinks it's because he's not 6'3", but he literally stinks. I don't know about you, Jeffrey, but I'd say you've got bigger priorities to focus on. Adonis. Adonis navigates relationships extremely well, but he was not always like this. Adonis went through the stereotypical young man's journey of getting a girlfriend. He was so motivated by love, so he improved himself. He went to the gym and started eating clean and became more confident and improved his body language, spoke to more people and held eye contact. Eventually, he attracted his first girlfriend and he was so happy. But this is not a story with a happy ending. Young Adonis got complacent. He got what he worked for. He eased up on his gym training. He started eating worse food. He got a little bit lazy. His girlfriend at the time looked at him as if he was a different man. This was not the man that she was originally attracted to. And so she left him. And Adonnis was heartbroken. But he looked inward. He didn't project that with resentment or hate or anger towards his ex. He asked himself what went wrong. And he realized a very, very important lesson about dating. Your Jeffrey friends need you. You remember those motherfuckers that you grew up with who play video games and do all the bad habits? They saw you get onto self-improvement, and you might have noticed like maybe some jealousy, some resentment, some hatred towards you because you started going to the gym and meditating and doing all this weird stuff that took you away from the instant gratification activities that they're all addicted to. And so it's so easy for us to say to abandon your Jeffrey friends. You've probably taken a big step back from that original friendship group, and that might have been good for you, but they need you. And the superior man, the man like Adonnis, helps his brothers. Just look at those spurgs. They're kind of cute, aren't they? Adonnis. Adonnis, of course, helps his tribe grow. Even the weakest link of the tribe, the Jeffrey of the tribe, gets Adonis's attention. For Adonnis knows that your success in leadership is measured by your bottom line, not by the top. Jeffrey is a bit of an asshole to service staff. You see him in a restaurant and he complains to the waiter and he's rude. Whenever he has to wait for something, he makes sure that member of staff hears about it. What a hateful guy. Everywhere he goes, he leaves a trail of resentment, bitterness, and aggression. And it's interesting. In his mind, Jeffrey is so certain that people are so bad. He's so certain that people are resentful, bitter, and aggressive. Because what you see in others is a reflection of what you have inside of you. If you see the beauty, the love, the kindness, the gratitude in others, that says some very nice things about you. But if you think other people are assholes, I don't like other people. If you mock or belittle people, if you're rude or you insult people, if you make the lives of waiters and receptionists horrible, that really shows us what kind of man you are. It really shows us what kind of boy you are. Little boy. Adonnis. Everywhere Adonnis goes, he leaves better. He goes into a restaurant and every single person, waiter, waitress, manager, patrons, they're all happier because of his presence. Kind and positive. You can't help but feel so amazing when Adonnis smiles at you. My God, just look at that smile. Jeffrey is a like you. 2 seconds into the video, you already just got violated. Jeffrey doesn't know anything about what it takes to be a man. He watches porn and jacks off multiple times a day. He eats like a child. Jeffrey doesn't realize the pain that he's causing to his future self with his actions today. He doesn't realize the most important factor of self-improvement. For a long time, I lived like a I overindulged in the pleasure that I could get today. And so I would wake up and I would go to the gym. That would be the one productive thing I would do. But I would start to eat shit. And I'm talking like shitty junk food. A lot of sugar, entire packs of Oreos, big bags of crisp sweets. I'm not like one of those guys who eats 3 Oreos and says that he's done. Like, give me the pack, bro. I'm playing video games, jacking off 3 times a day. It was only after years of doing this that I got fed up and actually started wanting to be more productive. My life went up and up and up and up until I got into the bad same habits. And this time I was smoking weed and eating more junk food, and it went down again. If only I realized the importance of delaying gratification, things would have been different. Adonnis. Adonnis truly knows that comfort is the killer of man. Adonnis sacrifices comfort, how he feels today, for his future self. He thinks always of his future self, for Adonnis will become him. He does not indulge in pleasure or vices. He commits to purpose and virtue. Oh, that was a sick line. That was fucking off the top of my head, man. Jeffrey ego lifts. The cardinal sin of weightlifting. He knows deep down in his mind that he can't lift that weight, that it's dangerous. But there's some women in the gym and Jeffrey wants to impress them. So he makes loud noises, he huffs and puffs, and he's ready to lift that weight, and ouch. Not only has he injured himself, but he also might have injured some other innocent gym goers around him. Jeffrey needs to implement the mindset that you're gonna learn from this video. Adonnis. Adonnis is strong, muscular, and sexy. You see him lifting the heaviest weights, and so you want to copy him. You load up the bar, and then you feel a hand on your shoulder. It's Adonnis. He gives you a piece of wisdom that stays inside of your mind for a while. You don't need to impress me, son. Longevity is the key. He helps you take off most of the weight to get to a weight that you can comfortably and safely use. And that's how you make progress day in and day out, till eventually you're looking pretty damn strong yourself. Jeffrey's skinny fat and he wants a muscular body, but he's confused. There's so much fitness advice online and it all contradicts each other. So he gets overwhelmed and he never starts exercising. Adonnis started exercising by simply doing the things that makes his muscles burn. He didn't overwhelm himself with hours of research before starting. He just started. He knew it would take a while to build a body he was proud of. And so he just started and enjoyed the journey. Jeffrey doesn't fully understand how to meditate.
and so he just doesn't meditate. He hears how important meditation is all the time, and he gets annoyed that it just doesn't seem to work for him. Adonnis meditates every single day. When he first started meditation, he was confused, but it made sense to him that he wouldn't completely understand when he first started, so he just kept showing up to practice, and soon enough, meditation changed his life. Jeffrey spends all of his day stationary on his computer chair. That's it. That's all he does. Adonnis wanders. He explores the realms and the enemy tribes, and he takes their women. Jeffrey's part of the hustle and grind culture. He wants to make 50 million in his 20s, and so he works all day, every day. But oddly enough, he doesn't seem to accomplish anything. He largely does shallow tasks, and he interrupts his workflow every 2 minutes to check his phone. He sacrifices sleep and rest to work more. Adonnis works on his purpose for just a few hours every day, but he has the focus of a monk. He remains undistracted whilst he commits to his deep work and accomplishes great things. Then he rests and unwinds through activities like meditation and working out in nature. Jeffrey wants to drop out of the rat race, and he thinks the way to do that is to work long hours, invest in a 401k and stocks, and hopefully make millions. So he ends up working long hours and spends most of his wage on instant gratification to recover from those long hours. Adonnis works, and he works hard, but he doesn't trade his time for money. He doesn't work under a boss's commands. Adonnis spends time working on his craft and exercising in nature. Jeffrey's self-improvement has been very difficult. He finds a new self-improvement technique like no-fap or cold showers or meditation, and he's hyped. But before he knows it, he's back to being inconsistent. Jeffrey doesn't know that it's his mental health that is actually the problem. Adonnis has been through some shit, and because of that experience, he knows the importance of training his mind just like he trains his body. Jeffrey set the goal to work out every day. By Tuesday, he convinces himself that he'll skip today's workout because he has too much work to do, and he'll just do a longer workout tomorrow. By Friday, he's forgotten his goal entirely. Adonnis set the goal to work out every day, and so he does it. Jeffrey has made some progress in his self-improvements, and that gave him some confidence. Too much confidence. He started to believe that he knew it all, and so he stopped learning, and eventually he stopped improving. Adonnis has made insane progress in life, but he holds the frame that he is a lifelong student. And so Adonnis continues learning, improving, and growing. Jeffrey does what he feels like. Of course, he feels like eating junk food, playing video games, and fapping, and so he does just that. Adonnis doesn't indulge in his impulses. Adonnis views his feelings with interest, and then he does the right thing anyway. His feelings tell him to lie in bed, but he gets the fuck up and he goes and works out. Jeffrey tries to impress girls at every opportunity. He gets into alpha male body language and spreads out his lats. He tries to make his voice deeper, and he only works hard when a girl is watching. Adonnis cares more about how he views himself instead of how girls view him. When he's focused, he doesn't even notice them. He holds himself to a higher standard, and he commits to his purpose. Jeffrey's go-to website is YouTube. He has the website bookmarked, and through muscle memory, he ends up back here every single day. He's sick of YouTube. He spends so much time on this damn website. He knows the knowledge already. He knows what to do. He just doesn't do it. And so he wastes time searching for the quick answer. Adonnis doesn't know what YouTube is. Jeffrey is edgy. He heard that motivation is a myth, and now he cringes at every time someone mentions motivation. Adonnis knows that motivation is a treat. It's always nice to have, and so Adonnis benefits from the secret motivation tactic to fuel his workout. Jeffrey received plenty of participation trophies in school. That raised his self-esteem nice and highly, but there was a problem brewing. He became afraid of failure and discomfort. Adonnis was taught to fall. He was taught to pick himself back up. He failed in school but found it strange how failure is punished in our modern world. Chasing discomfort and embracing failure is the exact reason why Adonnis is successful. Jeffrey fakes it till he makes it. He spreads his arms out with his invisible lat syndrome and tries to talk too deeply. Adonnis just acts naturally. He has confidence because he's worked on himself for a few years, so he doesn't need to fake anything. Jeffrey thinks of new goals and announces them to everyone on social media. He's the kind of guy who posts a black screen picture saying, "Quitting social media. Text me if you need me." Adonnis doesn't speak about his plans. Why would he? He doesn't crave validation without actually putting in the work. He works hard first, and then he lets the results show itself. Jeffrey finds his workout routines on Reddit and YouTube, but they never get him to his goal of building an aesthetic body. Adonnis. Adonnis doesn't take advice from guys on Reddit. Adonnis trains the 6 aesthetic muscles, and that's why he looks jacked. Jeffrey thinks that trying to be like the alpha male is cringy, and so he never improves. Adonnis. Adonnis looked up to his father as the ultimate alpha male, and then he tried to emulate his father's behaviors, and with that, he grew. Eventually, Adonnis became the alpha, and now he lives an awesome life. Jeffrey spends all of his time trying to get girls. That's his one goal, but he gets frustrated that he's just not getting any results. Adonnis focuses on his own growth. He doesn't chase women, and then something weird happens. Women chase him. Jeffrey's scared of getting rejected in front of people, and so he never escalates with women. He never polarizes women, and so over time, the women Jeffrey's interested in lose interest in him and start dating other guys. Adonnis. Adonnis instantly polarizes women. He doesn't waste time. Within just a few seconds, he displays his interest in a woman, and then he automatically knows if she's interested in. Jeffrey says there's nothing wrong with watching porn.
It's healthy for you. There was a study that said fapping decreases your chances of prostate cancer.
And so Jeffrey watches porn and jacks off at least twice per day.
I'm not at the beach, this is a bathtub.
Adonnis. Adonnis doesn't watch porn. He makes it. Jeffrey's annoyed. Everyone has been telling him to meditate, but he tried once and it didn't even do anything. It didn't clear his mind of thoughts or help him to be more focused, and so he never meditated again. Adonnis. Adonnis understands common sense. He knew that he'd have to get consistent in meditation for the long term to see great benefits. And so he just kept showing up to his meditation practice for months, and it slowly started to change him. Jeffrey's scared of getting rejected in front of people, and so he never escalates with women. He never polarizes women, and so over time, the women Jeffrey's interested in lose interest in him and start dating other guys. Adonnis. Adonnis instantly polarizes women. He doesn't waste time. Within just a few seconds, he displays his interest in a woman, and then he automatically knows if she's interested in him. Jeffrey is a normal guy. He spends most of his time on the internet playing video games, jacking off, and watching self-improvement videos. He doesn't understand why he can't take action, why he can only seem to do things that give instant pleasure. Adonnis. Adonnis delays gratification. He doesn't indulge in the bad habits of normal people, and because of that, he's able to achieve his wildest goals, like growing a business or building his dream body. Jeffrey complains that he's lonely, but he never admits why that is. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He's a low-value man with low-quality hobbies. Adonnis. Adonis has to fight off the women. He's a high-value man, and he does exciting things which naturally attracts women towards him. Jeffrey gets bored of a new song so quickly. His attention span is fried. He finds a new awesome song that he loves, and then within just a few days, he begins to get bored of it again. Adonnis. Adonnis understands association psychology. He listens to the same music every single morning to put himself into a trance-like, hyper-focused state. Jeffrey says that he's doing all this self-improvement just for himself. He thinks that any man who wants to be better than others is vain and egotistical. Adonnis. Adonis competes, and he beats other men. He uses competition to fuel his efforts in his self-improvements, and because of that, he grows. Jeffrey feels too good. He's blinded by his ego and narcissism, and that stops him from growing. He stays living an unideal life of instant gratification, but can't admit it. Adonnis. Adonnis used to feel like he was not good enough, but then Adonnis used that same feeling to motivate himself into achieving all of his wildest goals. Jeffrey is scared of what other people may think when he gets rejected, and so he never opens himself up to get rejected in the first place. But because of this, he never polarizes women and he stays lonely. Adonnis. Adonnis doesn't get rejected, and even if he did, he would have zero feelings of embarrassment. Jeffrey's depressed and he doesn't even know it. He doesn't understand why he can't stick to any of the self-improvement habits that he tries. He tries to stop fapping, smoking weed, playing video games, but before he knows it, he's right back to his usual ways. Adonnis. Adonnis understands depression bro science. Of course, Adonnis has had periods in his life where he struggled. That's exactly what made him into the man he is today. Adonnis has a framework for pulling himself out of depression and forcing growth. He lives a comfy life. He doesn't need to work hard or achieve anything substantial. He just clocks in the hours Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and enjoys his short freedom of the weekend. Because of this, Jeffrey never grows. Adonnis. Adonnis was sent away to the trials of men. With his back against the wall, he had to fight to survive. He had no choice, no safety nets. And because of that, he developed into the man he is today. Adonnis. Jeffrey finally gets a girlfriend. Hooray! But there's a problem. Jeffrey's never learned how to manage his time and energy. He gets a girlfriend and he instantly starts prioritizing her above everything else. He was doing good, but now he's missing half of his workouts. His studies are being distracted and he's on FaceTime every single day with his girlfriend. And so what do you think happened? He became less attractive, less mysterious, and finally his girlfriend lost interest and she broke up with him. Adonnis. Adonnis doesn't prioritize women. He puts all of his mental energy on his purpose and his growth, and that's what makes him more attractive. For Adonnis, it's always a win-win. Jeffrey's agitated. He stepped on the scale and he's went up 3 pounds. He wanted to cut, he wanted to lose weight. He just doesn't understand that the way he eats is why he can't lose weight. Adonnis built his dream body and he maintains his lean, ripped physique through healthy eating behavior. Jeffrey works a 9-to-5 job and wants to escape the rat race. He's so motivated to make millions that he daydreams through his entire work shift. But by the time he comes home, he's too tired to work on his side hustle, so he ends up watching Netflix, fapping, and playing video games, activating the deep voice. Adonnis doesn't use puny human currency. He barters for the goods and services that he needs. Because Adonnis is an incredibly skilled man, he lives a rich life. Jeffrey leaves mean comments on social media. He doesn't really understand why he does it. It just feels so good to express his built-up resentment and anger caused by his childhood trauma. And so Jeffrey trolls the comments on YouTube and Discord, hoping to get noticed to finally get a sense of importance. Adonnis shares his gift of love and kindness to his people. He understands that praising people is the best way to influence them. And so Adonnis remains positive and encourages his tribe. Jeffrey had a bad childhood. His parents abused him. They shouted at him. They threatened him. They even physically harmed him. Because of this, Jeffrey grew up resentful, unloving, and anxious. He struggles in his dating life as an adult. He hates his parents, but he behaves exactly like them when he's in a relationship. Adonnis also had a painful childhood. His father was the strong leader of the tribe who put high expectations on young Adonnis. Adonnis struggled through the harsh trials and tribulations of becoming a man, and as an adult, Adonnis became aware of his tendency to treat his women harshly, and through introspectiveness, Adonnis was able to change. Jeffrey is a stoner. He says that weed isn't even a drug. It's good for you. If more people smoked, then the world would become a better place. But Jeffrey hasn't done anything with his life. He works the same shitty job at his local pub, he failed his studies, he doesn't go to the gym, and he eats like a child. He spends most of his time being bored whilst watching Netflix. Adonnis doesn't need substances to relax. He avoids drugs like Asian men avoid taxes. Adonnis stays clear-headed and uses that to fulfill his purpose. Jeffrey thinks journaling is gay. He doesn't understand why men would want to write about their feelings in a diary. But Jeffrey overthinks all the time. It's a shame. Jeffrey would benefit from it most. Adonnis understands the power of his thoughts. He takes specific time out of his day for introspectiveness. And because of that, he has a feeling of clear-headedness as he goes about his hobbies. Jeffrey hates the alpha males he sees at the gym and on sports pitches.
They're just projecting. They all have small dicks. They're making me feel uncomfortable.
Jeffrey's a little bitch. Younger Hamza felt weak, submissive. He'd get so shy around strong men and he got along better with girls than with guys. Adonnis is the... How do you say that word, bro? Epitome of masculinity. The prime example of a strong leader. That's why all men respect him and all women crave him. Jeffrey complains that his friends are bad for his self-improvement. He starts looking at the Instagram memes of becoming the lone wolf. And so Jeffrey gets lonely. But what he doesn't realize is now his social skills are deteriorating. Jeffrey gets worse on his self-improvement journey. Adonnis values his tribe. He spends quality time growing with his brothers. He doesn't feel bad about spending time with his friends. That's the time that Adonnis is most grateful for. Jeffrey spends his money on designer clothes and video games. He doesn't understand why he's always broke, but then when his paycheck comes in, he does it all again. Adonnis invests in himself above all. He prioritizes developing his skills and knowledge and uses his money to set up a better life for his future self. Jeffrey and Adonnis start playing old school RuneScape. Jeffrey spends 30 minutes customizing his character, whereas Adonnis chooses the default character look and rushes off, eager to level up. Jeffrey's slow to take action. He's distracted by the female characters, whereas Adonnis is already killing giant rats. Jeffrey spends his time on RuneScape, stood around the banks, XP wasting. Adonnis power levels his skills. He leads a clan and he slays high level beasts. Jeffrey stays as a noob and complains about the high requirements of the new exciting quest, whereas Adonnis gets to enjoy a new challenge.
Jeffrey doesn't look after his body. Why would he?
Going to the gym is weird. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm not one of those jerks.
Younger Hamza got kind of chubby. He started eating more junk food and he refused to exercise. Eventually, his high school friends told him that he was the fattest one out of them. That fueled him for his body transformation. Adonnis was raised in a tribe of strong men. He looked up to his father who had the perfect male body. Adonnis was always destined to sculpt his body like a Greek god.
Jeffrey does shallow work at best. He says he works all day, but he constantly distracts himself with his phone and YouTube. At the end of the day, he hasn't accomplished anything of value, but he feels fatigued and overworked. Adonnis does deep work. He enters a deep workflow that no one could pull him out of. He remains focused for a couple of hours, achieving more than Jeffrey does in an entire week. Afterwards, he rests his brain by meditating, journaling, and working out in nature.
Jeffrey thinks mental health is for women. Why would he want to talk about his feelings?
That's gay.
But Jeffrey's mental health is terrible. He spends his time distracting himself through video games and porn. He only feels comfortable when he overstimulates himself. Otherwise, he'd have to face his demons. Younger Hamza knew that he had some mental health problems, but he just didn't do anything about it. He just lived with it, stuck in his normal routine. And because of that, he struggled. He performed badly in school. He was always distracted and his relationship suffered.
Adonnis.
No. It's one of those days where I can't say it right. Sam, you say it for me.
Adonnis.
Adonnis always takes time to improve his mind. After all, Adonis' success has come from his ability to stay disciplined and focused. He can't have depression. He needs mental clarity to conquer challenges and lead his tribe to victory. Jeffrey says that money doesn't even matter. He lives an unambitious, ordinary life of playing video games and eating cheap junk food. Younger Hamza didn't like school or learning, and he couldn't think of what degree or career he'd even want. But his parents and teachers made it seem like the only choice was to go to university, get a degree, and a normal job. Adonnis laughed at the puny teachers who told him to go to university. Why would he? He was already making more money than his teachers with all of the businesses that he ran in high school. Jeffrey doesn't even think about becoming stronger. Why would he? He levels up in video games instead of real life. In the virtual world, Jeffrey is a warrior, a mage, a monk, but in real life he's pathetic. But in real life he's a fapper, a stoner, and a video editor. Sorry, Sam.
That's all good, Hamza. It's all fun and games until I start hiding JPEGs of cocks in your videos to get you banned from YouTube.
Younger Hamza started off pretty weak. He felt inferior to his peers who were stronger mentally and physically, but he started leveling up. Adonnis was raised to be a strong man. The world needs men like Adonnis to lead us out of the hard times. And yet, Adonnis looks around at the men around him. We need more strong men.
Jeffrey keeps avid track of his no-fap streak. He gets just a couple of days in and then he resets it back to 0. Now that he's back on 0, he faps 3 more times. Adonnis isn't even aware that no-fap is a thing. He just has sex and doesn't fap like a monkey because he's not lonely. He expends that energy instead by doing challenging things like making a business or lifting weights.
Jeffrey does all play and no work. The rewards don't even feel like rewards anymore. It just feels like normal life to spend the day eating junk food and playing video games. Jeffrey makes no progress. Younger Hamza would put in some effort and get closer to his goals. He'd eat clean or he'd be productive for a day or two, but then he'd reward himself by punishing that same goal. If he had a good diet, well, then he'd reward himself with a cheat day. If he was productive, he'd spend the next day laying around in bed. Younger Hamza reversed his progress. Adonnis understands how to use rewards properly to boost his growth. With the right mindset, he sees the work as the reward. He conquers challenges that give him a sense of fulfillment, and then he immediately moves on to the next challenge. Jeffrey's heart is beating fast. He's about to infiltrate the popular group. He walks up and he forgot his words. He had memorized a script just like he does before he calls his local takeaway. Everyone's staring. There's only one thing he can do now. Hey, guys, do you know where the toilet is? What the f***? It's right over there. You knew that, Jeffrey. Now get away from us. You don't fit in here. Younger Hamza squeezed himself to fit in with new social groups. But there was a problem. He wasn't meant to be there. He thought all this time that he wanted to fit in, but he made one major mistake. Adonnis. No. Wait, that was shit. Adonnis, shut the fuck up, bro. Adonnis. Adonis doesn't try to fit in with others. He spends his time with the men of his tribe, who he already has a lot in common with. Jeffrey speaks like a nervous little boy. He speaks too quickly. He slurs his words. He barely breathes. He interrupts like a black pillar who has data to show you. Younger Hamza tried to improve his speaking skills. He'd spend time watching YouTube videos, but by the time he was next in a social situation, he'd completely forget what he had just learnt. Adonnis speaks with charisma. With conviction, Adonnis makes his speeches, and everyone listens. The people tune in to every word that Adonnis says. You know what I realized? Jeffrey would be an atheist, and Adonnis would be religious. If you really think about those two characters, Jeffrey would definitely, absolutely be like the armchair Reddit atheist who hates religion, and religion causes wars and stuff. And Adonnis would be a man of faith. He would believe in God. It seems so true that with those characters' ideas, that would be the case. And we've always wanted to emulate Adonnis. Jeffrey and Jess are Instagram influencers. Sound very nasally today, G. They've amassed a following by posting sexual photoshopped pictures of themselves. They're selling a lie.
Hey guys, please buy my Herbalife product.
Adonnis stays offline. Why would he need to show off his success to others? He's already content and grateful in life. Mama and Papa raised Adonnis to not crave the validation of strangers. Jeffrey thinks going to the gym is gay. He'd rather continue making excuses and playing video games with his fizzy drinks and sweeties. Younger Hamza always wanted a six-pack because he thought that building a muscular body would get him the respect from guys and the attraction from girls that he craved. Adonnis is shaped like a Greek god. Through thousands of workouts, blood, sweat and tears, Adonnis sculpts himself like an artist, and because of that, his life changed forever. Jeffrey thinks he knows it all. He's an internet intellectual, always getting into heated debates with facts and figures. His arrogance keeps him blind to his weaknesses. His hostility makes him repel other people. Younger Hamza went through the ego bell curve, where he started at a low point, knowing he wasn't special and smart. But then when he made some good progress, like making a fantastic amount of money or getting into relationships, his ego got to him.
See? I'm the emperor now. Look how much I've changed Everyone. Please notice me.
Adonnis remains humble and grateful through all of his accomplishments. That's what makes him so great. He could be arrogant. He could be full of himself with a huge ego, but he uses self-control and integrity to forever be a student of the world, and that makes him grow more than ever. Jeffrey thinks that the only way you can work out is by going to the gym. And Jeffrey didn't work out even once whilst the gyms were closed during lockdown. Adonnis. The world is Adonis's gym. Jeffrey thinks working on himself is weird.
I'm fine. I have everything that I need right here. I have all my girlfriends, my nutritious food, and my healthy habits.
But there's a problem. Jeffrey grows to dislike himself and his life. He looks back in the past with regrets for his actions. Younger Hamza stumbled upon the motivational videos on YouTube.
You gotta want it as much as you wanna breathe. Work, work, work.
Okay, I'll work. So I'll just go to the gym, and then I'll finally get girls, and then I'll finally love myself. Although Younger Hamza made fantastic progress, there was a key ingredient missing: Adonnis. Adonnis has grown into a fine man. Through years of holistic self-improvement, discipline and introspectiveness, Adonnis has leveled up in every area of life. He is the ultimate man after all. Jeffrey doesn't even think about his productivity. He'd rather take drugs and sit in McDonald's. He comes home and hops straight onto his crusty computer chair, where he spends the rest of his day watching shitty self-improvement videos like this one and jacking off to mom-cessed gifs on 4chan. I've been there, Jeffrey. Mom-cessed gifs on 4chan. Classic, bro. Younger Hamza wanted to be more productive. He really did. He really wanted to improve. He just didn't get round to it. He kept on researching all of the higher level productivity tactics, but he didn't realize that he had to start from the ground up. He just needed to get the ball rolling with some simple tricks. Adonnis remains productive, even amongst the distractions of the modern world. He doesn't allow his focus to waver. Jeffrey has all the excuses in the world.
Lifting weight stunts your growth. It's unhealthy. Protein damages your kidneys. And besides, all bodies are beautiful anyway. Why don't girls like me?
Younger Hamza set forth on a fantastic pursuit of building his dream body. But there was a problem. He stumbled across painful experiences that he didn't know how to overcome. Adonis came out the womb muzzing like Z's. He overcame the challenges that arose from lifting weights. Through thousands of workouts, Adonnis sculpted his body like a Greek god. Jeffrey falls for the blue pill lies.
You can't ask her how many guys she slept with. Men and women are equal.
Younger Hamza never considered the importance of a woman's body count in his relationships, because he had a fairly high body count too, so he didn't mind. But he had just not seen the research on this. He didn't realize how detrimental it would be for his relationships. Adonnis only expects the best of his women. Adonnis is a high quality man, while the weak men in his tribe fall in love with the whores. Adonnis only has eyes for the best. Anastasia. Anastasia. Bro, why are all Anastasias just f***ing fit? I swear to God, if her name's Anastasia, she's like a solid 9 out of 10 at least. Jeffrey starts his workout routine. 3 sets of 10 hate comments on YouTube, followed by 120 seconds of edging looking at fit girls on Instagram, supersetted with 5x5 mean comments on their photos. Jeffrey's the type of guy to make fun of you because you started going to the gym. Like, how does that even make sense? You probably have friends like this, friends who mock you for doing something productive. Guess what, bro? They're not your friends, and you're only hanging out with them because you don't respect yourself. I used to see girls share Facebook posts that said, "Oh, guys with abs, alright, bet I'll get abs, and then they'll finally like me." I did a 6-pack abs challenge, like the shitty infographics that you see on Instagram, and I did that for 2 days. Still no abs. Then I quit. It was years later when I started working out properly, and I tried so many different exercises, and eventually I found the ones that make you look the best. Adonnis has a godly physique, but he did things differently. Adonnis noticed the weird exercises that lesser men would do, and he'd help each and every one of them. Soon he had a tribe of brothers that he could muzz with. That's the peak of human existence. Jeffrey hates everyone who goes to the gym.
They're all gay. Why would they want to build muscle and look like a meathead, like those asshole chads who treat girls badly? I want a girl to love me for me. All these guys are cheating.
Jeffrey sees you going to the gym.
You look gay in your workout clothes. You're gonna go get sweaty next to other guys, that's gay.
Jeffrey leaves hateful comments on your shirtless pictures. He mocks you for trying to be more disciplined. But that's exactly what Jeffrey needs. He spends his days working in his dead-end job just so he can donate to titty streamers on Twitch. Yeah, that's it. Go to the donation board and bend over as you write my name. Write my name on your forehead. Yeah, that's the stuff. Jeffrey stinks. That's the life of a guy who doesn't get into fitness. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always been I was a pushover. I was so awkward around other people, especially girls, and I always felt like I wasn't good enough until I started lifting weights. It seems like the same thing happens to every other guy. You go from spending your time on video games or simping over girls, you get into the gym, you see visible progress on your body, you level up your discipline, and you finally get respect and love for yourself. I started weightlifting and it made me so positive. It showed me that progress was possible. You just gotta put in the work. So day in and day out, I'd learn more about fitness. I'd go lift and I'd come back and I'd watch body transformation videos on YouTube. I'd visualize myself with the perfect 10 out of 10 body. And this is what I look like now. I'm not there yet, but I'm so grateful for the progress that I've made. And please believe me when I say that whatever excuse that you've been using, either I or some other guy has went through it. You're not alone. Adonnis has the ultimate male body. He looks like his body has been sculpted from marble by an artist. When Adonnis walks down the street, all of the girls with boyfriends look at him. Hell, even their boyfriends stare at him. He instantly gets the respect of everyone. He's automatically the leader in every situation. But he wasn't always like this. Adonnis has been through it all. He's been weak and scrawny. He's been slow and chubby. He went through the trials and tribulations of thousands of workouts to get to this point. But he never quit. One workout at a time. One set at a time. One rep at a time. Adonnis powered through it all, skyrocketing his discipline to levels unimaginable to man. And Adonnis believes that you can do it too. Jeffrey's phone notification goes off again. It's her. He's so happy that she's replying. She seems so interested in him. Jeffrey's finally happy, but she keeps making excuses not to meet him. Jeffrey sees her Snapchat story and she's with another guy. It's been weeks, it's been months, and eventually the girl that Jeffrey's been texting gets into a relationship with the guy that she's been f***ing all this time.
Bitches ain't sh**.
Adonnis texts girls in the proper way. Adonnis is the guy in the girl's Snapchat stories, and he's the only one in her mind. Jeffrey fails the test.
Men should be more feminine. Look, girls, I'm a pussy too. Masculinity's so toxic. You're a white male.
Jeffrey doesn't understand why he's acting like this. He doesn't want to be feminine, but it might get him laid, and so he continues. But it backfires. When I was younger, I felt directionless. Should I try to act like the alpha male, or should I be like the pretty fuckboy? Or should I try to be her friend first and then maybe I can get laid? I didn't have a clue what my authentic personality was, and so I would shape shift to try to fit in wherever I went. But just like Jeffrey, I didn't understand that this would only make me less attractive than remaining authentic. Adonis doesn't fall for the puny women's shit tests. He never has to change his personality because he would rather only be accepted by the people who genuinely compliment him. And so Adonis remains masculine and assertive, staying authentic to himself. And that makes him liked more than ever. Jeffrey is like the male version of the women who hate all men. He hates all women. He was given a choice to be better or to be bitter, and he chose to be bitter. Jeffrey jacks off to the girls who rejected him on Instagram. Those sluts, I hate them. They can't say no to me. They have to sleep with me. I don't care if that's someone's sister or daughter. I know. I'll send her a dick pic. That'll work. It doesn't work. Jeffrey is the type of guy who constantly sends abusive messages to your girlfriend or your sister. Don't be like Jeffrey. Adonis expects only the best. He has ultra high standards for the women who enter his life. That makes him even more attractive. But it wasn't always like that. Adonis thinks back to his early adult years. Just like you, he made mistakes. He didn't have the experience or the wisdom to look out for the right green flags. But over time, Adonis became a fine judge of character, a very important skill indeed. Jeffrey thinks that trying to work hard and become a success is stupid, but Jeffrey doesn't like his life. He goes from entry-level job to entry-level job. He never improves. Jeffrey feels hopeless, and because of that, he takes it out on you.
What are you doing? There's no point. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. You're just wasting your time. You could never become successful.
Are you gonna listen to Jeffrey, or are you gonna say, shut up, bro? Adonis doesn't procrastinate from his work, for that is his purpose, his passion. Adonis takes massive action immediately. That's how he's able to build his tribe, his empire, his business, all through taking action.
Jeffrey feels like everyone is watching his every move. He feels like everyone's judging him, and so he constantly overanalyzes himself and feels awkward in social situations. But his overthinking takes him out of the present moment and makes him even more awkward. Adonnis enters a social flow state on command. Filled with charisma and confidence, Adonis never feels awkward. Why would he? He sets the rules for every social situation.
Jeffrey clicks on a success motivation YouTube video.
It's all fake. No one can even be that rich. To make money, you have to scam other people.
But Jeffrey claims disability benefits from the government. The only disability he has is that he plays League of Legends.
I couldn't do it. You have to be smart and you need loads of free time. It's impossible for me to become successful.
Jeffrey sees you improving yourself, trying to become a success.
You're stupid. You're wasting your time. You're coping. Stop. You're making me feel bad.
Adonis only sees himself in a positive light. Although Adonis stays humble with a student mindset, his self-image is great. Adonis understands the power of his mind. He believes and he sees all of it in his mind, and then he makes it a reality. But Adonis wasn't always like this. Adonis started off just like you. He didn't believe in himself. He felt like he wasn't good enough. But slowly and surely, by doing the right things, Adonis began to improve his self-image. And with that, everything changed. Jeffrey doesn't even do CrossFit. He hates all kinds of exercise.
Why would I work out? Lifting weights stunts your growth. And besides, I don't want to be a massive steroid bodybuilder anyway. I don't want to get too big. I just want to get toned.
Jeffrey stays skinny fat forever, and he gets pissed off when he sees you. You've been working out, progressing to the body transformation that you've always wanted. You've been putting in some effort, and that is an insult to anyone who makes excuses, just like Jeffrey. Jeffrey sees your 2-month body transformation picture. He leaves an insulting comment about your insecurity, and then goes onto your Instagram profile and follows a bunch of your female friends. And what do you think he does next? Such is the life of a guy who never started lifting weights. Adonis doesn't squat the weight up. He presses the world down. He lives rent-free in the House of Iron, and he started at a young age. Whilst other boys stayed in the comfort of their homes, Adonis ventured out in search for a challenge, and he saw a group of old-school men moving heavy weight back and forth. Adonis learns from them. He found his second mentor after his father, and he grew. Through thousands of workouts, he built the body of a Greek god, the Holy Grail, the aesthetic V-taper. Jeffrey gives up before he even starts.
It's too late. The market for this business is too saturated. If I was only one of the first, no, I'm not going to start lifting weights either because I should have started when I was younger.
Adonis has fond memories of his early adult years. He didn't have everything figured out. He was still learning, exploring, trying new things, seeing how he could create an impact in this world. He saw how everyone his age would stress out about where they were in life. They just needed the same mindset as him. Jeffrey hates girls. Why wouldn't he? They hate him too.
They are the enemy, guys. They're all hoes, and we should just f them and throw them out to the streets. They'd do the same to you if you're under 6 foot tall. No, it's not my personality. I have an awesome personality. Girls don't like me just because I'm not rich or 6'4".
Adonnis has no trouble attracting women. Sure, he's made some mistakes when he was younger, but he quickly learned that the best way to get girls was not by following the advice of everyone else. Adonnis witnessed the Jeffrey uprising. He saw the masses spend their lives on social media. He looked in shame at the degenerates in the dirty nightclubs. He wondered why so few men attract women in the right way.
Jeffrey sees your workout progress and he gets pissed off at you.
This is so gay. You look stupid.
You photoshopped your pictures. Jeffrey's projecting his insecurities on you because he doesn't even try to work out or improve himself. He hates his body, but he won't do anything about it. And seeing someone else, seeing you put in some work in your body transformation pisses Jeffrey off. Adonnis doesn't go to the gym. The gym goes to Adonnis. After all, he's the ultimate man with level 99 in his discipline skill. Adonnis hits every workout exactly as planned. But he wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, Adonnis was the smallest, weakest guy in the gym. He wanted to work out, but he didn't feel so comfortable there. He'd often come up with excuses as to why he couldn't go work out today, like having other tasks to do or feeling too tired. But slowly and surely, day in and day out, Adonnis kept visiting the House of Iron. He missed hundreds of workouts, but he never quit. And after a while, he started getting more and more consistent. And that turned him into the man he is today. Jeffrey makes fun of you for trying to eat clean.
Look at him, everyone. Why is he eating vegetables? What a nerd.
Jeffrey has a highly processed, unhealthy diet. He munches on a packet of crisps whilst preparing his box of Dairy Lee Lunchables, the child abuse equivalent of nutrition.
Well, why are you on a diet? That's weird. Just eat some chocolate, you pussy.
But you end up making progress whilst Jeffrey gets jealous. Jeffrey scrolls on Instagram, looking at ass. He scrolls onto a shirtless picture that you posted.
He photoshops his pictures, guys. He can't be that big and lean. It's steroids.
Jeffrey reports your Instagram account for promoting terrorism, and he spends the rest of the day accusing people of taking steroids on Reddit r/natty or not. Adonnis. What kind of food do you think Adonnis eats? Is Adonnis the kind of man who would overindulge in sweeties and processed food? Or would Adonnis feast like a caveman? Meat, vegetables, and whole grains. Adonnis doesn't need the dopamine from processed junk food. He gets enough dopamine from pursuing his purpose, from conquering challenges and helping his tribe grow. He can't allow his mental and physical energy to be drained by poor quality food. Adonnis knows that clean eating is worth it, and he respects any man who delays gratification and prioritizes purpose over pleasure.
A big ass volcano on my face, bro. It's not ready to pop yet, bro. Stop staring at it.
Jeffrey thinks diaries are for girls. Why would he want to write about his feelings? He hasn't even picked up a pen for months. He can barely read his own handwriting. Jeffrey would rather play video games than journal. Younger Hamza tried to journal, but it didn't really do anything. He spent 20 minutes writing out his goals, but he didn't feel any different. Younger Hamza just didn't journal in the correct way. Adonnis. Adonnis was taught to be wise and introspective. He keeps a journal alongside him at all time to take notes of his ideas. After all, Adonis's ideas led to the success of his tribe. Jeffrey's getting pissed off. The McDonald's worker has got his order wrong. He's gonna rage.
That'll show him.
Jeffrey goes home.
Well, what the f***? Why is my internet so shit? I knew this broadband package was gonna be trash. I'm gonna call them and shout at the CEO. Don't they know who I am? Please pay attention to me.
Jeffrey believes that getting loud and angry in stressful situations makes him more of a man, but he doesn't realize that this makes everyone around him respect him less. Adonnis relishes stressful situations. Whilst the fire's blazing and the civilians are panicking, Adonnis mindfully glides through the emergency and saves the day. For he has trained his mind and his body for this very moment. The people cheer for Adonnis, the only man who has emotional resilience. But they don't realize that they too have this power. Adonnis knows someone like you can imitate his techniques to stay calm, because he wasn't born like this. Of course, Adonnis is stressed in difficult times too, but he set the intention to learn how to stay calm in situations that would usually stress him out. He began meditating and journaling, being introspective. He studied stoicism and improved his understanding of his emotions. And because of that, Adonnis stays calm in stressful situations. Jeffrey has the standard video gamer's diet. Here's his 3-course meal. His starter is chili heatwave Doritos with pink Lucozade. His main dish, chicken nuggets and chips, which are slightly too burnt because he couldn't finish his League of Legends game in time to get it out of the oven. His dessert is a bag of dairy milk caramel nibbles. These are a peng, to be fair. He doesn't see the reason to eat clean. Why would he? Jeffrey doesn't care about his health or even his physique. But then Jeffrey sees you with your healthy packed lunch and he's angry. You're making him feel bad about his choices.
Look everyone, he's got fruit in his lunch. Why are you trying to be healthy? I bet you're trying to lose weight and build muscle. That's gay.
Your friends who aren't really your friends laugh and tease you more, whereas your true friends encourage you to stay healthy. Adonnis eats like a caveman. He's not interested in the processed foods of the modern man. Meat, vegetables, and whole grains are enough for Adonnis. Adonnis understands that eating for nutrition, not pleasure, is the righteous way to self-actualization. And he looks like it too. Adonis's body looks like it's been carved from marble. The shreds, the cannonball delts, a fine sight to look at indeed.
Jeffrey has no ambitions. He thinks setting goals is weird, and so Jeffrey spends his time overindulging in instant gratification activities like drinking alcohol with his friends at the pub, calling his drug dealer to get cocaine, and eating low-quality junk food to recover. He spends his week working a job that he doesn't like, only to come home and play video games. It's like half the f***ing UK. Adonnis is an ambitious man. He wanted to build an incredible muscular body, and so he put in the work and made it happen. He wanted wealth and relationships and adventure, and so he made it happen. Coupling ambition with action gives Adonnis whatever he wants in life.
Young Jeffrey comes home from high school and scrolls on social media. He sits in his bedroom all day watching dumb YouTube videos. He refuses to eat his mum's cooking and instead eats low-quality processed junk food. He plays video games and he doesn't care about his physical or his mental health. Adonnis has fond memories when he looks back at his teenage years. Young Adonnis conquered the playground. He spent time in nature away from the distractions of technology. He read books, he learned, he explored, and all of that developed Adonnis into the man that he is today. Jeffrey rationalizes his addiction.
Video games are good for you because they improve your coordination and your memories and your reflexes, and also this is productive because I'm training to be an esports athlete. And it's not a waste of time because I only play for 1 hour a day, I promise.
But he doesn't realize that he's spending more than 30 hours a week playing his video games. Jeffrey's using the virtual world to escape from reality. Video games have been a part of my life since I was around 8 years old playing RuneScape on our old family computer. I was always consumed by RuneScape. Why? I was only allowed to play for 1 hour a day, but around the clock my mind would be thinking about RuneScape. And I realized why this was the case recently, and it's really, really sad. Adonnis levels up in real life instead of the virtual world. Whilst other men conquer challenges and explore in video games, Adonnis goes on real life adventures. He sees and experiences things that only few men have. He collects artifacts and gold and swords. Adonnis looks around at the men, no, the boys of today, consumed by the pixels on their screens, and he wonders why they don't just play the game of life instead. Jeffrey doesn't even go to the gym. Why would he?
Going to the gym is gay. I don't want to get too big like those chads who are jerks to girls.
Jeffrey stays at home, arguing with his Discord friends over a game of League of Legends. Jeffrey plays as the champion brand as support Adonnis. Adonnis visits the House of Iron. Through thousands of sweaty workouts, Adonnis built the body of a Greek god. But that's not all. He rose to the top with a tribe of men alongside him. He started a brotherhood in the gym. With friendly competition and support, Adonis's tribe grew and grew. Jeffrey is an incel.
Why don't women want to fuck me? They're stupid. They should be forced to make love to me. It's not fair. I tried everything. Apart from going to the gym, or being kind, or improving my social skills, or treating them like human beings. Why?
Adonnis is the prime example of a gentleman. Chivalry isn't dead. They just haven't been on a date with Adonnis. So let's take you through a date with Adonnis. He picks you up at 6 o'clock. Literally, he picks you up from the floor. Up on the shoulders of giants, you see the world from new heights.
Wow, it looks so peaceful from up here.
You say to Adonnis. He looks up and smiles. You blush at the eye contact. Jeffrey doesn't track his nutrition. He eats whatever he craves, and that usually means low-quality junk food. He thinks people who care about their health are weird. Younger Hamza was scared of gaining fat. He had just done a successful diet going from chubby to skinny, and he wanted to stay lean. But this meant slow progress in the gym. He constantly kept switching from bulk to cut to bulk, scared of getting fat, but also annoyed at how little his muscles were. He wasted time.
Adonis feasts like a king. His appetite and diet allow him to grow bigger than all of his friends and enemies. Because of that, Adonnis is fueled with confidence. He feels better than good enough. He's looked up to as the leader of his tribe. Jeffrey doesn't believe that lifting weights works.
It's bullshit. I tried and I hit the gym once and I didn't even get any bigger. They're all on steroids and they have insane genetics.
But Jeffrey stays self-conscious forever. He never puts in the work to get bigger, to have a man's frame. Jeffrey sees you going to the gym and insults you.
Look, he's gay. Look how small his arms are. They're like twigs. Please be my friend.
But you keep hitting the gym and you make progress and you get bigger. Soon Jeffrey comments on your shirtless picture.
It's the steroids. You cheated.
You get better whilst Jeffrey gets bitter. Adonis's arms are like great girthy tree trunks. He doesn't tricep dip himself up. He pushes the world down. The complete bicep peak. The fine-tuned 3 tricep heads. A beautiful sight to look at indeed. But just like you, Adonis knows what it's like to have smaller arm muscles. He struggled in the great challenges of his tribe in his youth. The other teenagers would tease him and even hurt him. Young Adonis used that as fuel. He visualized himself with bigger arms. He saw himself conquering workouts. He ate more and more. He trained more and more. He meditated more and more. Soon, young Adonnis looked around him. He was the biggest of them all, but he remained humble all this time, for Adonis is the ultimate man indeed. Jeffrey stares at her, mouth breathing. She notices him from the corner of her eye, expecting him to look away any second now. Jeffrey continues staring. His breathing gets louder. She looks over at him. Jeffrey continues staring, mouthing something under his breath. Looking at her body, she starts to feel really uncomfortable, so she leaves the area. Jeffrey gets pissed off and hops online to complain.
They're stupid bitches. Think they're all that. They're all hoes, all of them. Why won't they be my hoe?
Jeffrey spends the rest of the night repeatedly resetting his nofap streak.
I'm technically on day 0 anyway, so I may as well do it a couple more times today and then I'll stop again properly from tomorrow.
Boys, don't be like Jeffrey. He doesn't get any pussy. Adonnis went about it in the right way. Adonnis built himself up first into the man that receives the love and respect from everyone in his tribe. When he was younger, Adonis's friends would obsess about girls, but Adonnis would obsess over challenges he had set himself. He saw men getting into serious relationships before they were ready, having children and getting married without first having developed themselves. And it pained Adonnis to see those men live quiet lives of desperation, struggling financially and even mentally. They all felt like it was the right decision to start dating at that age, because it was normal. But Adonnis understood that normal does not equal righteous. He held off, he focused on himself, he built himself up to be the man that he wanted to be, and with that, the highest quality women became deeply attracted to Adonnis. Jeffrey says he can't sleep without fapping first.
It's good for you. Fapping reduces your chance of prostate cancer and it increases your testosterone, and if you watch porn, it increases your 1 rep max in the gym.
But Jeffrey doesn't realize that he's missing out on the greatest no-fap benefit of all. He doesn't realize just how much fapping and watching porn affects his self-image. And because of that, Jeffrey never grows. Adonnis has been on nofap for so long that his streak is in Roman numerals. He knows the consequences of fapping and watching porn, and Adonnis looks around confused at the addictions of the modern man. He wonders why they don't just discipline themselves to retain their sexual urge and put it into their work. But there is a small group of men that Adonnis notices. This group of men are saying, you to normal society. We don't want to fap anymore. We're fasting. We don't want your sugar. Adonnis smiles. He looks like he's impressed. Jeffrey stays sat on his computer for most of the day. Why would he get up to exercise? He has everything he needs right here. He has his video games, which gives him a sense of adventure, his virtual girlfriend, which gives him intimacy, and his sweeties, which give him nutrition. Jeffrey's content. Adonnis roams the forests in search for adventure. He has a childlike curiosity that has him exploring, moving his body and meeting new people. Why would he stay indoors when he could venture out into the unknown? Jeffrey is a black pillar.
There's nothing you can do to improve your looks. It's all over. You're coping. It's over for you curry cells. You should just kill yourself.
That's how black pillars actually talk. They tell young men who are feeling insecure to kill themselves if they don't have a certain height or characteristics of their face. Black pillars like Jeffrey hate to see you on self-improvement. They don't want to be proved wrong. Jeffrey will try to pull you back down into the bucket of the crabs. He doesn't want you to invalidate his excuses. Adonnis has a warrior skull. What a fine specimen indeed. He looks phenomenal, with a jawline as sharp as the spear of Zeus, and the hunter eyes that would make black pillars proud. Jeffrey doesn't even care about being productive. And then he sees you. You've been trying to be more disciplined, to start a business, to make online income, and Jeffrey hates you for that.
But why are you trying to make a business? That's stupid. You're stupid. No one can make that much money. money.
Jeffrey is the bottom of the bucket crab, snipping at your legs as you try to climb up. What a loser. Adonnis. Adonnis is an entrepreneur at heart, a lifelong problem solver. He could never imagine himself at a desk in a normal job taking commands from a superior. Adonis is part of the new rich, the new age entrepreneurs who are doing things differently. And so Adonis lives a life worth living, a free life, where he isn't constrained to a work shift. He has the power to go out and explore the vast world whenever he pleases. Adonis lives his life as a man living to his own values, not the values of the 9-to-5 job he works at. Jeffrey thinks all women are sluts.
I hate them all. They're all slutty. They're all stupid. Why won't they be my slut?
Jeffrey spends 40 days and 40 nights trying to learn how to approach women, but he does it all in the wrong way. He sees them as the enemy. He doesn't even see them as a human being. And so what do you think happens when Jeffrey goes out and tries to approach women? Nothing. He never even takes action. He never even leaves his crusty computer chair, but he just continuously watches videos on how to approach women the right way. Adonnis. Adonis isn't afraid to go speak to a woman. Why would he? He's 7'3", 376 pounds. What is this puny human going to do to him? Adonis hasn't felt approach anxiety since he was a teenager. And although things were pretty difficult when he would go up and try and speak to girls when he was younger, he overcame the trials and tribulations and learnt the skills and the right mindset. And now Adonis feels comfortable around new women.
Jeffrey's always had low self-esteem. Why wouldn't he? He wakes up late, he plays video games, and he jacks off 3 times a day. He struggles immensely to improve his habits. Adonis. Adonis's high self-esteem makes it fairly easy for him to pick up new self-improvement habits. He values himself. He loves himself unconditionally, and because of that, he improves himself naturally through habits like meditation, journaling, and exercise.
Jeffrey thinks you're weird for trying to improve your appearance.
You're shallow. Your ego is massive and you're gay. Going to the gym is gay. Look at everyone. Look at what he's wearing.
Jeffrey's like the toxic friend who always puts you down. Guess what, bro? That guy's not actually your friend and you only stick around him because you don't respect yourself yet. Adonis. Adonis is the dream man. Women dream about him. Hell, even straight men dream about him. Adonis looks fiercely cut from marble, with perfect muscle insertions, a godlike physique, a strong jawline that would impress Mike Mew, hunter eyes that would make wheat waffles proud. But Adonis hasn't had it easy. Although he is the ultimate man, he had to go through the ultimate trials and tribulations to get here. The size of a man is directly linear to the size of his problems. And as the tribe leader, Adonis takes responsibility of all problems. That's why he's grown so much.
Jeffrey can't stand his family. They're assholes. They treat him horribly. Jeffrey can't wait to move out and finally get his own freedom away from his family. And so Jeffrey moves out of home. But there's an issue. Now Jeffrey acts like he doesn't even have family. He begins smoking weed every day from the dirty crackhead plastic bong. That over there is dead ass the dirty bong that I used to smoke weed out of, bro. I am Jeffrey. Adonis. Adonis appreciates his family more than anything. They gave him life. There's nothing more than that. Adonis is grateful for the challenges that arise with his family, especially his parents. Because of this, Adonis remains grounded and uses the wisdom gained from his family to further his growth.
Jeffrey gave up hope a while ago. Instead of improving himself to try and attract some women, which is what he truly wants, he rather fulfills that need through porn and social media. He scrolls and scrolls and scrolls looking at ass. He watches cringy sexist TikToks, but he blames his sexlessness on women. Jeffrey never improves, and he'll be the first one inside of the metaverse experiencing the new age porn. Adonis is a self-actualized man. He has achieved all the layers of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He feels fulfilled, but he remembers a time when he was younger and he didn't feel like this. Adonis had to go through the trials and tribulations of being a young man full of testosterone and urges. He struggled, he was constantly distracted, but he took the advice of his mentors and he did something differently. Jeffrey says there's nothing wrong with fapping.
It's good for you. It reduces your risk of prostate cancer. Just trust me. And watching porn increases your 1 rep max in the gym.
But Jeffrey doesn't even go to the gym. He spends his days in his smelly bedroom, switching from looking at ass on Instagram to underage girls on TikTok to fake taxi and incest videos on Pornhub. Jeffrey willingly castrates himself. He loses all of his masculine drive, and now he has no energy left to pursue his goals. Instead of putting in the effort to work out, Jeffrey levels up his strength skill on RuneScape, and instead of trying to improve his looks and his confidence, Jeffrey ruins it by adopting the self-image of being a fapper. That's the life of most men. Make sure you're not in this group. Adonnis. Adonis beats his meat, but but not like that. He's a farmer, a hunter, an old school man. Adonnis was the first man to transmutate sexual energy into productive goals. Whilst other men are fapping, Adonnis is training. He understands that just as good nutrition is fuel for our bodies, sexual energy is fuel for our goals. And dispelling that sexual energy by oneself is a great sin indeed. Adonnis of men willingly castrate the young men of no.